pop rock song. It was very orchestral in the way that he had written it. There were also inferred solo instruments, you know, the use of horns and violins, and so I think in the whole process, which took a chunk of time because I kept going on holiday, there were maybe 2 or 3 occasions where I really struggled to land orchestrally certain parts of a song, and I've been privileged enough to go into Hans Zimmer, who's a film composer, had lent me his studio for a couple of weeks, and one of his engineers to make some synth illustrations, if you like, so demos in an orchestral sense. And off the back of that and the experience I had with that, I put together a very simple rig. So throughout the process, you know, weekly, I was able to say to people, this is what I'm working on at the moment, this is the track that I'm working on, what do you think? And he was able to input creatively into the process, and it was a great tool for me because it meant that there was less likelihood I was going to be standing at a session with a conductor and 90 players, you know, the Royal Philharmonicans, and going, I don't really like that bit.
So
it was, and it was loads of fun to do as well. It was really fun. It was a pleasure to do. It was great. I loved it.
So to both of you, from each perspective, what do you feel like you learned about this piece from looking at it through this lens and this process?
Well, as Rachel was playing me these synth illustrations, one of the things that leapt out to me is that I thought that it would make the most wonderful ballet because it's rhythmic all the way through. It's all rhythm, and that orchestral music is often not rhythmic all the time. You know, it takes its time. The tempos change, but this is a very, very powerful and rhythmic orchestral piece, and it would make the most wonderful ballet. And so for a while I was thinking, what would I do if I did ever orchestrate this, or what would ever happen to it if it went to another life? But I never planned to record it. I never really planned. We did do a test recording, and that was more really as a gift to myself. That we just did a recording of 5 songs, and we also did a short concert with the BBC Concert Orchestra, where Jeff Beck pretended to be the singer on the guitar. It was great fun, and that went out on the radio. So we'd already we knew that the music was going to work with real musicians, but I never imagined that we would do an album, because I thought, well, what do we do if we put a classical album together? I would have to be courteous enough to invite Roger to sing it. Roger and I had already done a tour with this. I knew that Roger had already done classical experiments of his own. He did a tour back in '94.